Okay, just to finish up with, we've got a couple of brown snakes. They have had a couple of big days, these snakes, but we still don't trust them, and they can flare up at any second. Now, I've noticed there's been a few hands and arms have been coming in the pit while I've had these last couple on the ground. That's well and good, but you want to keep your hands right out of the pit with these next snakes. I have deliberately kept them cold, and just in case they start to flare up, keep your hands right out. These things are deaf on the floor, these snakes, and we don't want to have any accidents, so make sure you keep your hands out while I've got the brown snakes out. It seems when anybody has a nasty experience with a snake, when they think they've been chased by a snake or attacked by a snake, or just had a rather nasty encounter with a snake, this guy's usually the culprit, and that's because he's a very nervous snake. He will defend himself at the drop of the hat. Disturb him from under a piece of corrugated iron or in the wood pile or the brick pile. This guy will come out firing, he'll have a couple of shots at you, and then he'll look for an escape route. Give him the chance to escape, he'll take it. If you want to persist and try and take this guy on, believe me, you are taking on a very formidable sort of an opponent. Out there on a hot sunny day, a brown snake is capable of biting you 2 or 3 times before you've realised you've been bitten once. They're an incredibly fast snake out there on a hot sunny day, and this is one guy you do not want to come across out there on a really hot sunny day as well. Now, the old brown snakes, they also utilise a few little tricks, these guys. They don't just strike out like your average snake does, like a lot of people seem to think they do. These guys launch themselves off their tail. And what they'll do is they'll lift this front part of their body up off the ground, as you see there. They go into a tight S formation ready to strike out, but they don't just strike out this little bit at the front here, they launch themselves from back here. A brown snake has got twice his body length in strike range, and you can put another metre on the end of that as well. So if you look at this guy, there's one snake length, there's another snake length, put another metre on the end of it, and even at this distance back here up against the wall, if I was to pick up a stick and attempt to hit him on the head with it, even if he was facing the other way and his head was up where his tail is and vice versa, just like that, the snake will turn around, he'll launch himself from this spot here, and the entire snake will come through the air about 2 feet off the ground from this area, and he'll shoot straight through the air, and he'll come straight at your face. And as you go to protect yourself, which is a natural thing to do, have a look at the veins that run through your arms there. If he hits you on one of those, it's goodbye Henry. Nothing can be done for you whatsoever. You are going to lay down and die, and you're going to die a very quick and a very painful sort of a death as well. As I said, it's a simple rule. If you don't want to get bitten by these animals, you simply stay away from them. It can't get much simpler than that. Now, the old brown snakes, they'll use a number of little tricks. They'll even dig down underneath the leaf litter in front of you. They'll come up around the back behind you, and they'll hit you on the back of the ankle or the back of the calf where you're not even aware of it. And if the brown snake takes off, you don't pick up a stick and chase off after him and try and hit him. You'll never get him. He'll create an optical illusion in front of your eyes, and every time you bring the stick down, the snake will be in another position. He'll think he's just here. You'll get the stick, you'll go to hit him, and he'll be over there. Then you'll go to hit him, and he'll be over there. And you'll go to hit him, and he'll be over there. And they'll just continue on like that. And the brown snake, he'll take 10, maybe 15 metres of being chased, and after that 10 or 15 metres, he's going to say, I'm sick of this idiot. And he's going to turn around, he's going to come back at you faster than he was trying to get away from you in the very first place, and you wish you never took him on in the first place, because I'll tell you, when these guys mean business, they don't muck around. They come into a rapid strike succession, and even if he misses your face or your upper torso, he'll stand at your feet, he'll stand about that high off the ground, he'll open up his mouth, and he'll just start to strike at you rapidly. And as you back up, you want to hope you don't fall over, because if you do, he's just going to climb up on top of you and bite you half a dozen times or so. Now, snake venom is always present in a snake's mouth. If a snake bites once or 100 times, he'll inject venom every single time. And none of this rubbish. If you get bitten by a brown snake, you've only got 2 minutes to live or 5 minutes to live. You get bitten by a death adder, you've got 15 minutes to live. It doesn't work like that at all with Australian snakes. If you do get bitten on one of your main veins, you've only got a couple of minutes to live, to tell you the truth. But if you don't treat a snake bite in Australia, you've probably got around 3 hours at the very most. Probably only 20 minutes or half an hour, and you'll probably succumb to that particular snake. You can see this bloke, typical down there, he's lifting up that front part of his body and starting to defend himself. In at this time of day, on a cold old day like this, he's still prepared to defend himself at the drop of a hat. Now, when you're out there in the bush, it's not a idea if you want to go for a swim out by a river or a dam or a creek, you just take your clothes off or take your hat off or your bag, and just chuck it down on the side of the river or the creek. Snakes shuttle in and out of the sun all day, and if you're supplying a hot snake with a little bit of shade, he won't hesitate. He'll slip in underneath your clothes, your toweling or your hat, and you'll be none the wiser because you'll be out in the water having a good time, having a nice little old swim. The snake will just scoot along the edge of the bank there. He'll see your towel, your clothing or your hat, and you'll just slip in underneath it, and you'll be none the wiser. You'll come out of the water, you'll have bare legs, you'll have bare feet, and you'll walk over to your towel or your hat or whatever you've got, you'll pick it up, and bingo, there he is. Somebody mates calls out to you, and you turn around, you might tread on him, you might even pick him up in your hat, put him on your head, and he'll drop it over your shoulders and start to bite you on the face or on the ears. So you've got to use your wits about you. I've even heard of people picking them up, wrapped up in their towel, and start toweling themselves down with the snake wrapped up inside their towel. So they do these little things as well. Now,